When you talk of unity of Nigeria today, has been bastardized by the present government. So we need somebody like Atiku Abubakar to come and unite Nigeria. Because the problem we are having today is in insecurity. Has to do with disunity. For us to solve insecurity problem, we need to unite as a people. Are you getting my point? And Atiku Abubakar is the only candidate out of all the candidates that we have presently that can unify Nigeria, because he has demonstrated it. He is somebody that married a Yoruba woman. I'm a Yoruba man. He married a Yoruba woman from Osun State. They have been in marriage for 40 years and the marriage is still standing. So what are we saying? Atiku is a nationalist. He has a nationalistic attribute. So Atiku stand a better chance. I don't have any doubt. I strongly believe that if Nigeria give him their vote and the mandate come 2023, Atiku is going to unify this country and the country will be better for it.
As one, we can get it done. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard Flight 2023 Atiku Okowa 2023. I have my co-pilot here with me, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, keeping track on all navigation systems. Our destination is a united Nigeria. Right now, we're cruising at 2022 feet above sea level. Before we arrive at our destination, let me give you a brief update on what to expect at our destination. Number 1, the temperature is going to be hot on security issues. 2, the people are going to be better educated, and the educational system and healthcare will be accessible to every citizen. 3, the economy is going to be thriving and booming. And of course, there'll be true federalism. This and many more to be expected for a united and prosperous Nigeria. So sit back and relax, and before you know it, if we all join hands together, we shall arrive at the new united Nigeria we all dream of soon enough. My name is Atiku Abubakar. As one, we can get it done.
This is Headline Roundup, and I am Ijoma Udumudu.
And I'm Michael. Welcome today.
Well, there's still a lot happening, a lot going on. We have more insights into what happened at, or the speeches that were made at Bishop Coker's birthday. We also saw Tinubu going to visit Jonathan. What did you make of that visit? I mean, recalling all that he has said concerning,
it's a clear and obvious evidence that they've let Nigerians down, because they were the same people that said vile things about Goodluck, His Excellency, the former president, and now they are going to meet him for consultation and his endorsement. I don't think you need to say more than that. It speaks for itself.
I mean, what do you think we're seeing? We've seen the same Asiwaju that made negative comments against Jonathan, made negative comments against former President Olusegun Obasanjo. It seems like he's in the habit of making negative comments about former presidents.
Yeah, I mean, it's politics at the end of the day. So that's why I always tell people, like, pick your candidates, but don't take it to heart that much. Because at the end of the day, you can see a lot of people must have died on behalf of the two candidates back then, but now he's going back to beg the former president. So, like I said, let's always put the country first in everything we do in politics.
All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we will be looking at the headlines making rounds today. To stay with us.
I was one of those young men, and said to us, I want you to come along with me and restore democracy in this country. The journey may be long and may be rough. And he was one of those who never lived to see the return of democracy, and he made a supreme sacrifice of his life. And said, what would I do to remember this man who made supreme sacrifice and with friends, we came together to build this center. So anytime I walk into this center, I feel. One of the major political philosophies he taught us was that we should break away at that time from our regional and build bridges across this country between north and south, east and west, so that we can have a united Nigeria. And I hope the young generation of PDP will continue building those bridges until we achieve unity in our country. Let me congratulate you, and I hope that you will be very, very determined in achieving the objectives of this new generation. Thank you very much.
As one, we can get it done.
Hello and welcome back. This is still Headline Roundup. First on the news, we have Peter Obi and the vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. The vice presidential candidate, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, came out and has said that the candidate, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, has been going to churches to canvass votes, and he berated him on this. You know,
I mean, this I won't say it's bad, but it's not necessarily the right step to take, because at the end of the day, this is a church. It's a religious body. As we were saying a couple of days or weeks ago about the Pope getting involved in politics, I don't think it's necessarily right for a Christian organization to actively be involved in politics. And on the other hand, why isn't he going to mosques and other places? Like, only the Christian vote can get you nominated. And he's portraying it as if he's the savior of the Christian faith, and like all Christians are going to vote for him, when we know that's not true. So at the end of the day, it's politics, but getting involving the church in politics isn't the right image for him, in my opinion.
I mean, I would like to differ. I think the church and the mosque should be as involved in politics as everybody else, because you have these people who are members of your church or members of your mosque are affected by the same issues that affect a lot of Nigerians. So I think it starts from the church. However, I agree with Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Nigeria is already split along tribal and religious lines. I don't think there's need for further divisions. I don't think there's need. I think a lot of people already see Peter Obi as the only Christian candidate. However, we shouldn't split. We shouldn't encourage that divide. If we are voting for candidates, it should be based on competence and not based on religion. I think that's what we should look at moving forward into 2023. Also, EFCC arrests Ogun State Assembly Speaker. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Thursday arrested Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly. Oluomo, according to reports, was arrested around 9 a.m. today at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. He was reportedly picked up by officials of the EFCC to answer questions bordering on alleged financial crimes. What do we make of this?
I mean, it's a good development that the politicians who have been found wanting are being arrested. It's a good development. Let's hope that this isn't just for like publicity stunt, and he's actually prosecuted and not just charged to bail. He gets his bail and he's out again. Let's hope that he's actually prosecuted, and the funds that he has illegally taken back to the state and hopefully put into ASO as well. We need money to settle some real issues. Yeah.
I mean, he was called in for questioning by the EFCC, and he failed to turn up. And I think he tried to leave, and he was apprehended at the airport.
I don't know why they always like to travel. They always like to run when they've committed crimes. That's not funny.
I mean, they weren't accusing him of anything. He was just asked to come in for questioning, and he tried to leave. It
speaks for.
Yeah, it speaks for itself, really. It is sad, however, that these people or individuals that we've elected to hold this assembly.
Yeah. I mean, if the speaker can be found wanting for fraud. Imagine the members and if I'm not placing allegations, but if the speaker is involved in corruption, most likely the governor and the deputy governors all know about it as well, because you can't be able to move funds without their approval. So, like I said, let the investigations be done thoroughly, and they get to the bottom of it, and whoever is found wanting pays the price.
That investigation be done. I mean, we've seen a lot of cases with the EFCC, and we never get to see the end of it. And a lot of people have begun to see the EFCC as a political tool for witch hunting opposition.
Yeah, true.
Well, we don't know what is or what gives in this case. However, it is a developing story, and we will be following the story to know where this takes us. Moving on. Nigerians are confused over the state of things. This is coming from the APC presidential candidate.
Yeah, it's their government. So they are the ones confusing us, if anything. If anything is confusing us, it's probably the state at which they've put the country. Like, as we said, he went to get the endorsement of the former president of the opposition party, let's not forget. So if he says the current state, Nigerians are currently confused, it's because of his party and himself. Like, so. Yeah.
So the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress made this statement at the birthday celebration of Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka in Abuja. I mean, he's come out to say what Nigerians already know, the same things that Nigerians have already been emphasizing, that Nigeria is on the brink of shutdown. It's on the brink of collapse. Every sector seems to be shutting down, and Nigerians don't know which way to go. So coming out and saying this from the presidential candidate of the ruling party is an indictment on their government. And let's not forget, he's the national leader.
And he also said he was going to, like, if he gets elected, he's going to continue from when the current president has stopped. So let's just basically know that we're going to be confused for the next 8 years, according to his own statement.
So, I mean, that's if you're going to continue, we have nothing to look forward to. If this is coming from the presidential candidate of the ruling party, I mean, it shows that we actually don't know, they don't know where we are going.
They're out of touch with what's happening.
With Nigerians and with reality. So how is it going to be, how does he convince Nigeria to vote for him on the wings of the party? Because there seems to be none, apparently.
According to him, they were confused.
Okay. Again, Ortom fires at Buhari over insecurity. Governor Samuel Ortom has again challenged President Muhammadu Buhari and his government to redeem its battered image by rescuing Nigerians from the apron strings of bandits and kidnappers. The governor was reacting to a statement issued by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. I mean, this is Ortom coming out again. We saw his first reaction. The first time he made comments like this, and he's coming again to talk about the state of insecurity in the nation. I mean, Benue has been very badly hit, and we've seen this hit on Benue affecting the inflation rates, because Benue farmers can't go to farm.
Yeah, it's been a constant back and forth between the governor of Benue State and the current president, up to the extent that he said he's not even allowed in Aso Rock again to have meetings. Like I said, we are heading towards the last few months of the administration. If till now we're still talking about banditry, how to tackle banditry, how to tackle insecurity, it's a clear and obvious evidence that this has been a failed 8 years of the APC government. If we are literally getting into the campaign is starting at the end of the month, and we are still talking about insecurity and how to tackle bandits, then what do they want to? What exactly do they want to campaign on? Like the governor said, I think more governors should actually be like him and come out and say what's right for the people.
We have governors who are doing that. And I like that Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, Governor Nyesom Wike. These are all governors that are coming up to speak against.
Yeah, it's a good thing to speak up for the people. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
All right, we'll go on a very short break now, and when we return, we will continue to look at the headlines.
I believe in Atiku Abubakar's capacity and the presidency, because Atiku is one of the unifying factors that Nigeria needs now. If you look at the scenario of what is happening in Nigeria right now, you'll find out that Nigeria needs a unifier somebody that can break the ties and able to start these issues of insurgencies in every area of the country. I like Atiku Abubakar because he believes in human resource. He believes in raising men. You understand me? He believes in the youth. And also, he believes in one Nigeria. I believe in his fatherhood and his legacy that he had laid before with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. He worked perfectly, and at least in Nigeria as a whole, they are one of the best government under the support of Atiku Abubakar. So I believe in his candidacy, and I believe in his presidential aspirant for 2023. And I believe that he will do better.
As one, we can get it done.
Hello, good morning. Welcome back to Headline Roundup. If you're just joining us, we've been looking at all of the stories that have been making headlines in Nigeria. I mean, we've looked at Tinubu saying that this country is basically taking us to where we don't know.
I tell you.
And then we looked at the governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State, lashing out at President Muhammadu Buhari, amongst other things. So now we're going to look at INEC. INEC is moving to publish the final list of presidential, senatorial, and other candidates. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it plans to publish the list of candidates for presidential, Senate, and House of Representatives seats on September 20, ahead of the 2023 election. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu said this on Thursday in Abuja at the experts meeting on conducting Nigeria's 2023 general elections in volatile security environment. I think the theme of this meeting that they had was insecurity. They're trying to see how INEC is going to be able to conduct elections against the backdrop of insecurity in the nation. I mean, it's no longer news that
Nigeria is in free fall.
Yeah,
with his cronies in INEC as well. I wonder what kind of free and fair election.
I mean, let's take it one after the other. We're going to come to that. Yeah. But let's look at the insecurity in the context of this meeting that was held. INEC is going to have a problem apparently assessing, whether they can conduct elections across all of the local governments, all of the polling units across Nigeria. How do you think they're going to fare in doing that?
It's the onus is on the federal government now to make sure that what happened in 2015 we can at least get close or repeat something that happened. Like we've already established the fact that there's a whole lot of insecurity in the country and there's banditry and the rest. So now it's up to them to make sure that INEC gets the security they need and everyone's vote is protected. So I think at this point we should face reality and know that we as citizens actually have to stand up and protect our votes, no matter who you're voting for. Obviously, Atiku Abubakar is the best candidate to protect your votes for. But at the end of the day, we need to look at the environment we're in and know that if the government has clearly failed us, we as individuals can't fail ourselves. And we need to stand up for ourselves, like what was done in Osun. The people there stood up for their votes and defended their votes. Even when INEC tried to say there was no internet connection, these men were literally putting on their hotspot for them to transmit the electoral results. So at the end of the day, if the government has failed us, we as individuals and humans can't fail ourselves.
Okay, so I mean, we have about 176,000 polling units across Nigeria. Yeah. It's still yet to estimate how many of these polling units are faced with insecurity. In Niger State, there are about 576 or 500 and something 276 polling units in Niger State are faced with insecurity, and elections cannot hold. And this is just Niger State. And we've seen insecurity, we've seen banditry, we've seen Boko Haram, we've seen ISWAP, we've seen all of these terrorist organizations, and we've seen IPOP, ESN. It's across the entire nation. How many more polling units rather, are we going to see elections not holding in?
It's like I said, this is a failure of the current administration. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way we can try and spin our way out of it. It's clear and obvious that the federal government has failed us. So we just have to take it as it is and just hope for the best. Hope for the best.
I mean, if we really look at it, with these elections not holding in some of these polling units, we've disenfranchised these people.
A lot of people, yeah.
A lot of people have been disenfranchised. Their votes are not going to be counted. They will not even have the opportunity to vote. And so can we say against all this that the government is doing all that it can, as promised, to ensure that the 2023 election delivers, is the will of the people. I mean, you're going to have elections holding in certain areas. I mean, and this can be, it can turn into a political tool.
When they brought up the concept of manually transmitting the results before they changed their defense was there are a lot of rural areas that there are no internet connections. So these are things that the current administration intentionally doing. They're intentionally doing what they are doing to make sure that they try as much as, because they know testing of their popularity in the polls they will definitely lose. They know that, so they're trying to make it as hard as possible for the people to come out and let their disenfranchisement know. Which is sad.
I mean, if we're looking at it, the factors, we know the factors that affect elections or the outcome of elections in any society. We're looking at if we're going by all of these factors, we're looking at class, we're looking at the unemployment rate now is higher than it was in 2014. It's currently at 33.3%. The inflation rate is higher. The cost of living in Nigeria is generally higher, and we still do not have enough income power. A lot of people do not have enough, they don't make enough. The minimum wage is not enough
to cover bills.
To cover people's bills. And they have been accused, this government has been accused of weaponizing poverty. Do you think this also is going to be a problem? Because INEC is saying that they need these political parties and their candidates to work together to complements the efforts of the INEC into seeing that good governance is achieved and democracy is sustained.
As you said, the current administration have tactically put the vast majority of the citizens in these certain states that they know, like make them feel a certain way that I can't go out and vote. Even the youths that are clamoring for a change, at the end of the day, be like, it's too insecure for me to go out and vote, things like this. Like I said, at the end of the day, we as citizens and individuals have to stand up and defend our votes. Come outside and defend your vote. Even if there's insecurity, they can't possibly kill all of us.
How do we do that? I mean, in 2020, we saw the NSAS protest, we saw the movement, and we saw how many Nigerians were killed at the Lekki toll gate.
That's true.
That
should actually be a morale booster. Let us make sure that these people did not die in vain. Because at the end of the day, the main reason for that protest was a change of government. We were tired of this government at that point. So if at all those people's death meant anything to every single person, we should be fearless and should literally go out and vote. No matter who you're voting for, just go out and defend your vote.
But if we saw in a protest, people losing their lives, people coming out to stand against brutality by the police, if people came out to protest as their own they have a fundamental right to protest. And if they could not come out and protest, how many Nigerians against that? And look at what has happened so far with those cases. If we've seen that, do you actually think that Nigerians will come out, stand and protect their vote in 2023? As the government giving us that security, are we assured of that security to come out and defend our vote?
We have to pressure them into giving us, because if we do not defend the vote and they end up getting what they want, we will just keep complaining for the next 4-8 years, Lord knows how long. So at some point, we actually have to take it upon us. Sacrifices are made for a lot of good things. At the end of the day, like I said, if those to us as the youth, we need to come out and protect our votes. Come out and vote en masse. Come out and vote en masse and protect your votes. So I mean,
it's not enough to protect your votes, really. It's you have to go beyond that and vote for the right candidate. If you're wrong person, then we continue the same.
Of course, you guys know who the best candidate is. No?
I mean, don't want want, I think the basis of some of the challenges of most of the in Nigeria, especially with insecurity, is that Nigeria is divided. It feels like the North doesn't trust the South, and the South doesn't trust the North. And at a time like this, what we need is someone who unifies both North and South, so that Nigeria can make progress. Okay, INEC has also asked that these candidates also focus on issue-based campaign. Like in their campaigns, their campaigns should be issue-based.
Yeah, that's true. Like anytime I used to have conversation with people, I'm like, Nigeria is it's a lovely country, but our politicians, like, there's no politics of ideology in this country, and that's the truth. So at some point we need to force our politicians, because they are working for us. We need to pressure them into doing the things we want, like literally. So them focusing on issues is good, and not back and forth insults and, like my governor says, social media war and blah 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 blah. Focus on the issues, focus on what people want, and that's exactly what the PDP candidate is doing, trying to unify the country, talking about education, talking about how to tackle insecurity, talking about the economy, and he has a proven record of all those things. So, yeah.
I think, this is 2022. Nigerians are a lot more enlightened.
Yeah.
We're not dullard. We understand what we need. We know what we need as a people. And we cannot go into an election where we simply vote for a candidate because he belongs to the same religion as we do, or we vote for a candidate simply because it is his turn. Yeah. I think we're beyond that, and we're smarter than that, because these are the same tricks that gets played in politics every 4 years. Yeah. We need to go beyond that, and I think for the first time, Nigeria needs to stand up and vote for competency, vote for somebody who knows what they are about to do.
Yeah. It's quite simple.
It's as simple as that. Also, there are calls to delist some political parties from the polls for having begun their campaign. I mean, campaigns are supposed to start officially on the 28th, and some people allege that some parties have already begun campaigning.
Okay. At the end of the day, every party has the right to an election, but I think at some point we need to just cut down the amount of, because we have a lot of parties that are literally just looking for, the small funds they can get for the election. So if INEC, if it's what's best for our elections to delist some parties, so even if it makes it a lot easier to collate the votes, it makes it easier and faster for elections to swiftly end and things like that. As long as it's what's best for the country, I don't mind, to be honest.
All right, Argentina Vice President Cristina Fernandez is on the news next. When we return, we will be looking at the foreign news. Please stay with us.
You see, anytime I come to this center, I always have a feeling of what this center stands for. The late Shehu Yaradua invited many of us. He picked a young man from every state of the country. Of course, I was one of those young men. And said to us, I want you to come along with me and restore democracy in this country. The journey may be long and may be rough. And he was one of those who never lived to see the return of democracy, and he made a supreme sacrifice of his life. And said, what would I do to remember this man who made supreme sacrifice? And with friends, we came together to build this center. So anytime I walk into this center, I feel one of the major political philosophies he taught us was that we should break away at that time from our regional and build bridges across this country between north and south, east and west, so that we can have a united Nigeria. And I hope the young generation or PDP will continue building those bridges until we achieve unity in our country. Let me congratulate you, and I hope that you will be very, very determined in achieving the objectives of this new generation. Thank you very much.
As one, we can get it done.
Welcome back to Headline Roundup. We're looking at the foreign news. Argentinian President Alberto Fernandez has says that a man tried to shoot the Vice President Cristina Fernandez. There was a video circulating, a video going around that showed
the individual. The individual literally, we saw the gun and
it was really
she's very lucky though. The president says it was a miracle, literally. For some kind of machine failure, the gun refused to fire the blank, and there were 5 bullets in there waiting for her. He declared today a holiday.
Yes.
As a result of what happened. Like the video, like I analyzed the video very well, and I was like, why is her security bubble so?
Well,
it wasn't a tight security bubble. Like it wasn't scary.
It was so close, and I mean, these people were protesters outside her house. They've been protesting for a while against her for fraud while she was president. She's been president since from 2007 to 2015. She was the president of Argentina, and she's currently vice president.
That's a hell of a political career.
Yeah, vice president.
For a woman as well.
Her husband, the president is her husband allegedly. And I mean, we're seeing this, and we've seen protests. Bringing it back home, we've seen protests in Nigeria, and I think in Nigeria it's the other way around, because the protesters are the one who usually get fired at.
Like at the end of the day, like I think the she needs to beef up her security, because now that this was a very close call for her.
It was a very close call.
She's lucky.
It's a lucky one for her, and we do hope the suspect is well, it's not really a suspect.
He's been apprehended.
He has been apprehended, and
attempted assassination.
Yes, it's an attempted assassination, and they're conducting investigation. Investigations are still ongoing, and we hope that the law takes its full course. Moving on to sports news. Chelsea signed Juventus Zakaria on loan. Chelsea were looking for a midfielder ahead of Thursday's transfer deadline. I mean, you mentioned that yesterday was the deadline.
Then they signed Denis Zakaria, Chelsea, and they also signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang is back to the Premier League, and he says he has a score to settle in the Premier League. Wish him the best. Hopefully he doesn't score against Arsenal. That's all I care about. And enjoy your time in the Premier League. Also, Liverpool signed Ortom from Juventus as well on the loan deal. Manchester United completed the signing of Anthony from Ajax, and my team didn't make any signings though. We made a bid for Douglas Luiz, but it was rejected. But don't worry, we believe in Sambi.
You're not the only one that was rejected. Chelsea put in a 43 million bid for Alvarez, and that didn't go through. They'll feel really sad, but we think they will survive. We think
Premier League is going to be interesting this year though.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of transfers and sign-ons, and we're really, it's really going to be interesting to see how this season plays out with these new players in the team, trying to make their mark and consolidate their place in their new team.
It's going to be a fun season. Let's enjoy it.
All right, that's the much that we can take for today. Today is a Friday.
TGIF. Don't get too drunk.
We don't see you till next week. That's okay. So this is where we sign off for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us again on Monday. On Monday, Ikemba will be around on Monday. Join us on Monday for another very exciting time out here on Headline Roundup. My name is Ijoma Udumudu.
And I'm Michael. Have fun this weekend. See you on Monday.
I believe in Atiku Abubakar's capacity and the presidency, because Atiku is one of the unifying factors that Nigeria needs now. If you look at the scenario of what is happening in Nigeria right now, you'll find out that Nigeria needs a unifier somebody that can break the ties and able to start these issues of insurgencies in every area of the country. I like Atiku Abubakar because he believes in human resource. He believes in raising men. You understand me? He believes in the youth. And also, he believes in one Nigeria. I believe in his fatherhood and his legacy that he had laid before with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. He worked perfectly, and at least in Nigeria as a whole, they are one of the best government under the support of Atiku Abubakar. So I believe in his candidacy, and I believe in his presidential aspirant for 2023. And I believe that he